Democrats have poured $81 million, £62 million, in donations into Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign since President Joe Biden dropped out of the race on Sunday. It is the largest 24-hour period of campaign funding in presidential history, with more than 888,000 donors making contributions of less than $200 in the day after Mr. Biden stepped aside. Grassroots supporters are energized and excited to support her as the Democratic nominee. Act Blue, the progressive donation platform, said on X. Donors who had pulled back their funding over concerns about Mr. Biden's age say they now intend to resume their support for the party. The party raised over $27.5 million in the first 5 hours of Ms. Harris's presidential campaign. That number nearly doubled by the end of the day. In 24 hours, the sum broke a presidential fundraising record. The surge in donations in the last 24 hours is the single biggest for online contributions to Democrats since 2020, according to the New York Times, when Act Blue raised $73.5 million after the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The new funds mark a significant turn for the Democratic Party, which had seen support erode from major donors after Mr. Biden's poor performance in June's presidential debate against Donald Trump. Grassroots funding from small donors had also diminished, according to Biden campaign insiders cited in U.S. media. But soon after Mr. Biden's announcement to drop out of the race and his endorsement of Ms. Harris's bid for the White House, Democrats went online to contribute at a startling pace. Win with Black Women, a group of Black women leaders, held a Zoom call with more than 44,000 participants on Sunday night to throw their support behind the vice president. The group says it raised over $1.5 million in 3 hours for her presidential campaign. Joe Cotchett, a San Francisco-based political fundraiser for the Democrats, told NBC News that donors are now ready to dig into their pockets. Among them is Gideon Stein, president of the Mariah Fund and a donor for the party, who told the U.S. news outlet that he will resume his funding after having paused it because of concerns over Mr. Biden's electability. Several high-profile political donors have also indicated their support for Ms. Harris as the Democratic Party nominee. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, called the vice president the right person at the right time. "I wholeheartedly support Kamala Harris and her candidacy for President of the United States in our fight for democracy in November," he said in a post on X. Another big-name political donor, Alexander Soros, the son of philanthropist George Soros, said Ms. Harris is the best and most qualified candidate we have. But others, like entrepreneur and investor Vinod Khosla, called for an open process at the convention and not a coronation. "The key still is who can best beat Trump above all other priorities," he wrote on X. Netflix co-founder Reid Hastings, known to be a Democratic mega-donor, previously told the New York Times Biden should step down as the Democratic Party nominee. "Dem delegates need to pick a swing state winner," he wrote on X on Sunday, following Mr. Biden's announcement.